Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to our countdown of the best records in NBA history. Listen, we're talking about legendary teams, dynasties, squads that made history and dominated their eras. And let me tell you something, this is no easy feat. The NBA has seen some of the greatest athletes of all time, but only a select few have managed to reach the pinnacle of the sport. Today we'll be comparing the Cavaliers, Thunder, Michael Jordan's Bulls, and Stephen Curry's Warriors. We're talking LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, MJ, Steph, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, the biggest names, the biggest stars, the biggest dynasties in NBA history. We're gonna break down their stats, their wins, their championships, and see who comes out on top. First up, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers. This team has had its fair share of ups and downs over the years, but there's no denying the impact they've had on the NBA landscape. Now I know what you're thinking. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, the 2016 championship, breaking the Cleveland curse, that's gotta count for something, right? Absolutely it does. That moment was monumental, not just for the team, but for the entire city of Cleveland. And you're right, it absolutely does. The energy, the excitement, the sheer joy of that victory was palpable. It was a moment that will be remembered for generations. That 2016 Cavaliers team was special. Coming back from a 3-1 deficit against the 73-9 Warriors, it was legendary. The resilience, the determination, and the sheer will to win were on full display. They won 57 games that season, not too shabby, right? But let's put that into perspective. While 57 wins is impressive, it's not quite in the same league as some of the other teams we're going to discuss. But we gotta be real, folks. When we're talking about the best records in NBA history, the Cavaliers, despite their moments of brilliance, just don't measure up to the elite teams that have consistently dominated the league. We're talking about the best records in NBA history here, and the Cavs, as great as they were, they just don't stack up to some of these other juggernauts. Teams that have not only won championships, but have also set records for regular season wins. Don't get me wrong, LeBron James is one of the greatest to ever do it, maybe even the GOAT. But even his brilliance couldn't consistently propel those Cavs teams to the top of the regular season standings. His individual performances were often nothing short of miraculous. But basketball is a team sport, and the Cavs often fell short in that regard. They had some good years, some great years even, but they weren't racking up 60, 70 wins like some of these other teams we're going to talk about. Consistency is key in the NBA, and while the Cavs had their moments, they lacked the sustained excellence of the true greats. And look, I'm not trying to disrespect the Cavs, they earned their place in history, but in this conversation they're just outmatched. Their 2016 championship run was a story for the ages, but when we talk about the best of the best, the Cavaliers, despite their heroics, fall just a bit short. It's a testament to the level of competition in the NBA and the incredible feats achieved by other teams. Next up, we got Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. This team, at its peak, was a sight to behold. They were a young, dynamic squad that brought a new level of excitement to the NBA. With their high-flying dunks, pinpoint shooting, and relentless energy, they quickly became one of the most entertaining teams to watch. Now this team was electrifying. Every game was a spectacle, filled with jaw-dropping plays and heart-stopping moments. The fans in Oklahoma City were some of the most passionate in the league, and they had every reason to be. The Thunder were not just playing basketball, they were putting on a show. KD, one of the most unstoppable scorers the league has ever seen, and Russ, a triple-double machine, a force of nature on the court. Durant's silky, smooth jump shot and Westbrook's explosive drives to the basket made them a nightmare for opposing defenses. Together, they formed a duo that was nearly impossible to contain. They were young, they were hungry, and they were fun to watch. The energy they brought to the court was infectious, and it spread to the fans, who filled the arena with deafening cheers every night. The Thunder were more than just a team, they were a symbol of hope and excitement for the city of Oklahoma City. In 2013, they won 60 games, and let me tell you, they were a force to be reckoned with. That season, they dominated the competition, showcasing their incredible talent and teamwork. It seemed like nothing could stop them, and the future looked incredibly bright for the Thunder. But then, there's the elephant in the room. The what-if that still haunts Thunder fans to this day. What if they had stayed together? The breakup of this team left a lot of unanswered questions, and a sense of what could have been. The potential was there, but circumstances and decisions led to a different path. We'll never know what could have been if KD hadn't left for Golden State. His departure was a turning point, not just for the Thunder but for the entire NBA. It shifted the balance of power and left Thunder fans wondering about the championships that might have been. Could they have challenged for multiple championships? The talent was undeniable, and the chemistry on the court was something special. They had all the pieces in place to build a dynasty, but it wasn't meant to be. The dream of multiple titles remains just that, a dream. Could they have cemented themselves as one of the greatest duos of all time? We'll never know. The legacy of Durant and Westbrook in Oklahoma City is one of unfulfilled potential and tantalizing what-ifs. They gave us glimpses of greatness, but the full story was never written. And that's the thing about the Thunder. They had the talent, they had the potential, but they couldn't quite seal the deal. They came close, oh so close, but in the end they fell short. The playoffs were a different beast, and despite their best efforts, they couldn't conquer it. They had some incredible regular seasons, but when it came to the playoffs, they just couldn't get over the hump. The heartbreaks, the near misses, they all add up to a story of what could have been. The Thunder's journey is a reminder that in sports, as in life, potential doesn't always translate to success. But for those who watch them, the memories of their electrifying play will never fade. Chapter 3: The Bulls, the Gold Standard. Now, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls, led by the one and only Michael Jordan. This is where the conversation gets real, folks. We're talking about 6 championships, 2 three-peats, a level of dominance that we may never see again. Jordan's Bulls were a machine, a well-oiled, championship-winning machine. They were relentless, they were clutch, and they were led by the fiercest competitor the game has ever seen. In 1996, they won a then-record 72 games, a record that stood for 2 decades. They were simply unstoppable. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson, they all played their part. But make no mistake, this was Michael Jordan's team, and he elevated everyone around him. They didn't just win, they dominated. They imposed their will on the league, and they did it with a swagger, a confidence that was unmatched. The Bulls weren't just a team, they were a cultural phenomenon. They transcended basketball, and their legacy continues to inspire awe and respect to this day. Chapter 4: Steph's Warriors, a splash of greatness. And finally we have the Golden State Warriors, led by the baby-faced assassin himself, Stephen Curry. Curry, with his unassuming stature and boyish charm, took the league by storm. His ability to handle the ball, his quick release, and his deadly accuracy from beyond the arc made him a nightmare for defenders. Now this team changed the game. They didn't just play basketball, they redefined it. The Warriors introduced a brand of basketball that was both electrifying and efficient. Their emphasis on ball movement, spacing, and three-point shooting set them apart from the rest of the league. They brought a new style of play to the NBA, a fast-paced, three-point shooting barrage that revolutionized the league. This wasn't just a minor tweak to the game, it was a seismic shift. Teams had to adapt or be left behind. The Warriors' success forced other teams to rethink their strategies and prioritize shooting and spacing. Steph Curry, with his limitless range and his infectious joy, became a global icon, inspiring a new generation of basketball players. Young kids everywhere started emulating his style, practicing deep threes and quick releases. Curry's influence extended beyond the court. He became a cultural phenomenon, appearing in commercials, movies, and even video games. They won 73 games in 2016, breaking the Bulls' record, and they won 3 championships in 4 years. This period of dominance wasn't just about winning, it was about how they won. The Warriors played with a joy and a freedom that was infectious. Their celebrations, their camaraderie, and their sheer love for the game were evident every time they stepped on the court. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, they were all integral parts of this dynasty, but Steph was the engine that made it all go. Thompson's shooting, Green's defense, and Iguodala's versatility complemented Curry's brilliance perfectly. Together they formed a cohesive unit that was greater than the sum of its parts. They were box office, they were must-see TV, and they dominated the league like few teams before them. Every game was a spectacle, a showcase of skill, strategy, and sheer will. Fans packed arenas to watch them play, and millions more tuned in from around the world. The Warriors became a global brand, synonymous with excellence and innovation. Now, some people like to hate on the Warriors, they call them soft. They say they ruined basketball, but you know what? those criticisms often come from a place of envy. The Warriors' success challenged traditional notions of how the game should be played. They showed that you could win with finesse, with skill, and with a relentless pursuit of perfection. Hate on them all you want, but you can't deny their greatness. Their achievements speak for themselves. They set records, they won titles, and they did it all with a style that was uniquely their own. The Warriors' legacy is one of innovation, excellence, and a relentless drive to be the best. They changed the game, they won championships, and they did it with a style and a flair that was all their own. The Golden State Warriors will be remembered not just for their victories but for the way they played the game. They brought joy, excitement, and a new way of thinking to the NBA, and for that they will always be celebrated. So there you have it, folks. 4 legendary teams, 4 incredible stories of dominance, skill, and athleticism. We've seen the highlights, we've broken down the stats, we've debated the legacies. Now it's your turn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA history and analysis. Which team do you think had the best record? Let us know in the comments below.